Hello everybody and welcome to tonight's Section 5 Southern Tier Race League. Alpine skiing here from Swain, New York, the Swain Resort in Swain, New York. I'm Bob Fleischer, broadcasting from the Maple City Dodge broadcast booth. We're waiting for official start here. Tonight is the slalom, which they'll be starting midway point at, actually we'll show you where they start the midway point here in just a second. We'll give you an overview of everything here. And here we go, we'll give you a drone shot of Swain. There's the drone shot of Swain, and you can see there's wheels run in the finish line. They'll be the midway, the plateau point that you see. That's the entire shot of wheels run, but they will not be doing that. That's from the top there of wheels. You can see coming down, there's right there, you see that little starting gate right there, and they'll start right there and come down the rest of the way. They lean, from your view, they're on the left-hand side a little bit. You'll see them come down. They won't use the whole wheels run from side to side, and then we're recording from inside that building. We'll give you some race conditions today, temperature-wise. It's just a tad below 30 degrees, an 18-inch base here at Swain. They had freezing rain today, so they still have 16 trails open. That's 5 more than they had the last time we were here last week, a week ago tonight. So we have 5 trails open as well. So log on to swain.com if you're planning on coming over. You can, don't forget, you can ski, stay, and play right here at Swain. Like I said, we're waiting. We'll have multi-camera set up here, I think. One of our other guys is out on the course, but I haven't seen him send a signal. As we wait, you can hear some of the kids in the background here. So we'll wait for that. There we go. I think we're going to start receiving a signal now. There we go. From our secondary camera. Let's see if we can take a look. Oh, there he is. He's shooting the ground. Give you a shot of some of the kids waiting. Again, if you're just joining us, don't forget to give us a like. You're on Fleisch TV YouTube channel. Show our other cameraman. He was like, do I have to stand out here all this time? Here's our other camera guy right there. Oh, as he shoots the ground as I come across. This is JJ Reinhardt. And like I said, they'll be starting right from there. That's the gate right there, the little house.
Good evening, everybody. We're going to get things started here in a second. We're going to kick off with our 4 runners, get them on the course. And the gatekeepers are finishing getting ready up in place.
So that's what always seems to be the last second hiccup here is getting gatekeepers in place. That's why we start a little bit late from now on, from the next couple races we do here too, I probably won't be on with you at 5:30 because they're always about 10, 15 minutes late anyways. But there's the beautiful lodge. A lot of fun growing up over here. I'm from Hornell, so 15-minute jaunt. And that's where you rent the skis, and also the race upstairs. You see the lights on there. That's where the racers get warm. Give you a quick look if you're just joining us of the mountain there, and you can see right in the center, that's where they're coming down Wheels Run. That's the red line. It starts at the very top, but you see that little bend in the middle there. That's where they're actually starting for this slalom here. That's up top, and you can see we'll be going down the hill here. And that right there, the other, right to your left there, the other building, that's where they're starting, the plateau right there, and they go under one of the lifts and all the way to the bottom. Obviously, the finish line is right where the trees end. So that the trees that you see right there, the two pines that finish the Wheels Run, is actually where that's where the finish line is. And that's where we're filming from. That's the racing building, of course, and the where you rent your stuff too. The conditions today, again, 18-inch base. Freezing rain today they had over here, so it's going to be a little slick. We'll see how that happens.
Okay, we got our first 4-runner on course.
16 trails open today as well. So don't forget to log on to Swain.com. Ski, play, and stay. They have lodging over here at Swain. If you want to make a long weekend or a long week out of it, come on over to Swain. Forerunner, they said, was on the course, so
Our second 4-runner is on course.
there you can see the snow. It is snowing here today. It's going to be a little probably hard to see them as they come down. There's the Forerunner. Give you some noise from that Forerunner.
All right, we are ready to kick things off with our first modified racer, Abby Bastine out of Batavia.
So Batavia starts first. They're the host school today. Wonderful community of Batavia. I particularly like them because they have a Tully's up there. I have friends that live in Batavia. Nice area, beautiful area of Batavia. Always put good sports community.
Abby Bastine of Batavia is making her way to the finish. At the top of the course, Caden Kovo of Livonia.
There she goes, crossing. Good job.
Abby with a time of 54:13, 54:13.
Second modified racer.
Caden with a time of 46:87, 46.87. At the top of the course, Thomas Adams of Dansville.
Thomas Adams, Dansville Mustang. And if those that are watching, we did get clearance. They are going to be starting basketball and other winter sports that are considered high risk. I didn't get the whole, I know they're going to start them. I'm not sure which one and how they're doing it. I know basketball, we got the notification because we cover all the Hornell home games. They won't allow us to do away games, so the other schools are responsible for that. And, but thank you.
Thomas Adams of Dansville is approaching the finish. At the top of the course, Nolan Maury of Arkport, Canasarega.
So thank God we have skiing. We're going to have basketball, girls basketball.
Thomas with a time of 49:69, 49.69.
Whoa.
Approaching the finish, Nolan Maury of Arkport, Canasarega. At the top of the course, Grace Harris of Alfred Almond.
So we lost our second camera. I thought he was covering him. But.
39.
Nolan with a time of 39:60, 39.60. Approaching the finish is Grace Harris of Alfred Almond. At the top of the course is Burl Donnan of York. Grace with a time of 48:40, 48.40. Burrow with a time of 44:73, 44.73.
Again, here we are at Swain Resort in Swain, New York. If you're not familiar with it, we're about midway.
Approaching the finish is Thomas Christian of Livonia Geneseo. At the top of the course, Wyatt Everman at Dansville.
Midway, about 16 miles from Dansville and 16 miles from Hornell. Down in the southern tier.
Thomas with a time of 48:89, 48.89. Approaching the finish is Wyatt Everman of Dansville. And at the top of the course is Quinn Owens of Arkport, Canasarega.
Again, this is modified.
Wyatt with a time of 52:11, 52.11. Approaching the finish, Quinn Owens of Arkport, Canasarega. At the top of the course, Jules Cotton of Keshequa. Quinn with a time of 52:81, 52.81. Approaching the finish is Jules Cotton of Keshequa. At the top of the course, Leo Bailey of Livonia Geneseo. Jules with a first run time of 59.16, 59.16.
Had a wipeout. They are DQ'd when the skis come off. Last one we did here, the Hornell coach was skiing down and tore his Achilles, unfortunately. Wrecked here at the bottom of the hill, and ski got caught, and he's going to end up have surgery. Unfortunately, he's also the Section 5 coordinator, I believe.
Leo Bailey is off course, approaching the finish. Xavier York of Dansville.
Like I said, I think Todd Bielecki, he's the head of skiing for Section 5 coordinator. There's a lot of people that make this happen, and hats off to all of them. They do a great job here.
At the top of the course is Grayson Milliman of Arkport, Canasarega.
Of pulling this off.
Xavier with a time of 50.39, 50.39.
Good job, Xavier. Again, this is modified. If you're just joining us, don't forget to give us a like on Facebook. Don't forget to subscribe to us, too. I need to get over 1,000. I have like almost 900 subscribers, but need to get over 1,000 for some special things they allow us to do on YouTube.
Approaching the finish, Grayson Milliman of Arkport, Canasarega. Sophia Denny of Livonia Geneseo is at the top. Grayson with a first run time of 56.82, 56.82.
You can see the slight snow we got coming down here tonight at Swain.
Approaching the finish, Sophia Denny of Livonia Geneseo. Nava Gibson of Dansville, Wayland, Cohocton is at the top of the course. Sophia with a first run time of 53.39, 53.39. Nava with a first run time of 49.60, 49.60. Approaching the finish, Sophie Bykirk of Livonia Geneseo. Aiden York of Dansville is at the top of the course. Sophie with a first run time of 52.51, 52.51. Aiden with a first run time of 49.91, 49.91.
Waiting, I'm not sure if that's the end of the, you can see the snow coming down up there. Sure what the holdup is. us out.
At the top of the course, our first varsity girl racer of the night, Carly Curtis of Hornell.
Okay, Carly Curtis from Hornell here. That's why they were taking a little bit of time. There was the end of it. They didn't say it was the end of the modified, but here comes Carly Curtis.
Carly with a first run time of 44.52, 44.52. At the top of the course is Lindsey Johnson of Livonia Geneseo.
Obviously, you can see some of them knock down the gates to try to stay as tight as possible. The shortest distance between 2 points obviously is a straight line, so you want to try to stay as close to the poles. And
approaching the finish, Lindsey Johnson of Livonia Geneseo. At the top of the race course, Callie Little of Dansville. Lindsey with a first run time of 44.61, 44.61. Callie with a first run time of 44.13, 44.13. Approaching the finish, Maureen Stuckey of Arkport, Canasarega. At the top of the race course, Bella Lang of Alfred Almond.
very nice.
Maureen with a first run time of 36.20, 36.20. Approaching the finish is Bella Lang of Alfred Almond. Claire Schiano of Keshequa at the top of the race course. Bella with a first run time of 39.96, 39.96. Claire Schiano of Keshequa is approaching the finish. Claire with a first run time of 36.91, 36.91. At the top of the race course, Sophie Wilkins of Hornell.
Again, today's race, slalom, is sponsored or brought to you by the Batavia Central School. They are the race host today.
Sophie with a first run time of 45.16, 45.16. Approaching the finish is Emma Probonic of Livonia Geneseo.
Livonia Geneseo. Like we talked about, a few of the schools have teamed up together.
Audrey Vosberg of Dansville, Whalen, Cohocton is at top of the race course.
And I think it's Whalen, Cohocton, Dansville as well. It's not just Whalen, Cohocton, it's Batavia.
Emma with a first run time of 46.13, 46.13.
Livonia Geneseo as a team as well. We have one individual from York, I believe, is the single skier. This is the girls' varsity that you're watching right now for those just joining us. We're set up in the race room.
Audrey with a first run time of 1 minute, 2.55 seconds, 1:02.55.
So we have all the kids up here where they get warm between races, so excuse if you hear any swearing in the background. Some of them don't realize that there's a microphone and stuff here, and I heard a few curse words. I do not condone it. Does not reflect me. There you can see a low shot of the hill and the snow as they're starting to clear off some of the...
I'd like to take this break to welcome some of our viewers like Jeremy in Dansville. Thanks for watching, buddy.
We got...
Don't be fooled. Video hearings are as critical as appearing in person.
Make sure your rights are protected.
Your employer has trained specialists on their side.
And the judges work for New York State.
The only person on your side
Is the attorney at your side.
Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys.
Laura and I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of our veterans, especially those who have served or are currently serving overseas.
Here at the Dagan Funeral Home, we take pride in serving the funeral needs of our veterans. We can arrange military services and, if desired, burial in a VA cemetery. We will provide an American flag, a
Laura
veteran's
Murray of
cemetery
Arkport,
marker,
Canasarega.
and can also apply for military.
Wasn't sure what the break was for. I thought maybe they're going to... So we'll be back from commercials here.
Approaching the finish, Laura Murray, Arkport, Canasarega. Abby Grove of Alfred Almond is at the top of the race course. Laura with a first run time of 45:13, 45.13. Approaching the finish, Abby Grove of Alfred Almond. Kirsten Van Dorn of Keshequa is at the top of the course. Abby with a first run time of 46:52, 46.52.
You can see they use the butt of their poles to...
Kirsten with a first run time of 37:58, 37.58.
knock the...
Lily Wagner of Batavia is at the top of the course.
gates down.
Lily Wagner of Batavia is approaching the finish. Lily Whiting of Batavia is at the top of the race course. Lily with a first run time of 51:05, 51.05. Lily Whiting of Batavia is approaching the finish. Sophia Menudo of Batavia is at the top of the race course.
Sorry, lost her toward the again.
Lilly with a first run time of 44.54, 44.54. Sophia Menudo of Batavia is approaching the finish. Rihanna Tierney of Hornell is at the top of the race course. Sophia with a first run time of 55.27, 55.27.
We have a racer down. Is that what happened? I can't see from this far. It said Tierney from Hornell was on the course, apparently. Yep.
Rihanna Tierney is off course.
Yep. Unfortunate.
At the top of the race course is Catherine Roser of Livonia, Geneseo.
Good thing is, I guess it stopped snowing. Like we showed the conditions earlier here. They did have freezing rain, which is not good, obviously, for anybody when you're skiing. I'm sure they did as much treatment to the hill as possible, probably even blew some fresh.
Approaching the finish, Catherine Roser of Livonia, Geneseo. Sydney Hurlburt of Arkport, Canasarega is at the top of the course.
Some fresh snow from the machines, blowers.
Catherine with a first run time of 52.34, 52.34. Approaching the finish, Sydney Hurlburt of Arkport, Canasarega. Luna Quintana of Alfred Almond is at the top. Sydney with a first run time of 48.40, 48.40. Luna Quintana of Alfred Almond is approaching the finish. Malia Raz of Kashikwa is at the top of the course.
I don't think you want to get it hooked around.
Luna with a first run time of 49.17, 49.17. Malia Raz of Kashikwa is approaching the finish. Quinn Wohler of Batavia is at the top of the course. Malia with a first run time of 39.40, 39.40.
Oh, one down. Gotta get up. You can get up and continue. Anyone that's ever been on skis, you know how difficult it is, you can see.
At the top of the course is Quinn Wohler of Batavia. Correction, Quinn is off course. At the top of the course is Jaden Brock. Quinn with a first run time of 1:32.50, 1:32.50. Jaden with a first run time of 49.93, 49.93. At the top of the course is Grace Dunny of Livonia Geneseo.
Okay, this is Bob Pleasure broadcasting from the Maple City Dodge broadcast booth. Maple City Dodge is one of the sponsors over here at Swain as well. Check out the new and used cars. Great new cars from Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep. Great service as well at Maple City Dodge.
Approaching the finish, Grace Dunny of Livonia Geneseo. Valerie Miller of Arkport, Canasarega is at the top. Grace with a first run time of 62.06, 62.06. Valerie with a first run time of 50.75, 50.75. At the top of the course is Lena Michelle of Alfred Almond. Approaching the finish, Lena Michelle of Alfred Almond. At the top of the course, Nicole Cartwright of Keshequa.
Oh, Nicole Cartwright at Keshequa just lost. All of a sudden spun around and lost.
Lena with a first run time of 51.68, 51.68.
She lost a ski. Cartwright did from Keshequa, so she is DQ'd. She has to clear away, make sure. I don't think you can put your ski back on once it comes off. I think maybe you can, I'm not sure. To continue race, I think once it comes off, you're done. Snow is starting to come down again. There you see Cartwright moving to the side there so he can continue to race.
Nicole is off course. El Napolitano of Alfred Almond is at the top of the race course.
Napolitano. There you see a shot of Cartwright coming down the hill. Quick second there. Again, I'd like to thank J.J. Reinhardt as our cameraman at the finish.
Approaching the finish, Ella Napolitano of Alfred Almond. Emma Jo Pierce of Keshequa is at the top of the race course. Ella with a first run time of 65.23, 65.23. Emma with a first run time of 43:58, 43.58. Heather Moriarty of Keshikwa is approaching the finish. Heather with a first run time of 37:44, 37.44. At the top of the race course is Katie Mance of Keshikwa. Approaching the finish, Katie Mance of Keshikwa. At the top of the race course, Anna Wood, also of Keshikwa. Katie with a first run time of 44:15, 44.15. Approaching the finish, Anna Wood of Keshikwa. Abby Lewandowski, also of Keshikwa, is at the top of the course.
Like how she stops with the old snowplow.
Anna with a first run time of 47.75, 47.75.
Whoops, I lost my racer. There he is. She is, sorry.
Abby with a first run time of 50.29. That's our last girls varsity racer. At the top of the race course is Zach Wagner of Batavia.
Now we start the boys. Zach Wagner of the host team Batavia. Blue Devils. Love their colors. You know, there's, of course, all the colors, the way they put them together for schools are pretty cool. I like the blue and the white.
Approaching the finish, our first boys varsity racer, Zach Wagner of Batavia. At the top of the race course, Andrew Davis of Hornell.
Comes Andrew Davis of Hornell. Another, oop, almost lost it there. Another good color scheme for school, the Red Raiders.
Zach with a first run time of 42.35, 42.35.
Good job.
Andrew with a first run time of 39.40, 39.40. Jackson McInerney of Livonia Geneseo is on course.
Congratulate the parents.
Dylan Quackenbush of Wayland Cohocton is at the top of the race course.
Wonderful finish.
Jackson with a first run time of 36.31, 36.31. Dylan with a first run time of 41.23, 41.23.
Sorry, I don't want to make anyone sick here. I'm moving the camera so Some grandparents stood right in front of my camera all of a sudden, trying to film. It's great they allow people over. Not sure what the holdup is for boys here. There we go.
At the top of the race course, Connor Stuckey of Arkport, Canaseraga.
Arkport, Canaseraga. The Wolves, Connor Stuckey, look at him go.
Connor with a first run time of 31:47, 31.47. Cameron Clare of Alfred Alman is making his way to the finish.
A little overshot there.
Cameron with a first run time of 40:90, 40.90.
Here we go.
At the top of the race course, Adam Hunt of Keshequa.
Oh, he missed one. A little too wide. Well, he didn't seem to go back above it, but
Adam with a first run time of 38:14, 38.14. At the top of the race course, Ethan Bradley of Batavia.
another Blue Devil coming down the hill.
At the top of the race course, Evan Hall of Hornell. Ethan Bradley with a first run time of 48.60, 48.60. Evan with a first run time of 47.82, 47.82. At the top of the race course, Chaz Dorflinger of Livonia Geneseo. Chaz is approaching the finish. At the top of the race course, Eli Vosberg of Wayland, Cohocton, Dansville. Chaz with a first run time of 38.13, 38.13.
Now we had a racer up top lose it.
You need help with this tonight, or you want to kind of take a race?
See him picking up there. Skis. Gotta make sure they clear out of the way so no one else goes off course and hits them. You can't have any clear your left side as you're looking at the monitor. There you go. Now they can start the other racer. There we go.
At the top of the race course, Wyatt Owens of Arkport, Canasarega.
Comes Wyatt.
Wyatt with a first run time of 34:57, 34.57. Midway down the course is Jack Burns of Alfred Almond.
Comes Jack Burns, Alfred Almond. Oh! That didn't look good. Just getting back on it though. Looks like he might have hyperextended his leg there a little, or is it knee? Hope he's all right.
Jack with a first run time of 44:17, 44.17. Ryan Thayer of Keshequa is on course. Top of the race course is Ben Stone of Batavia. Ryan with a first run time of 36:09, 36.09. At the top of the course is Zagan Nowak of Hornell, approaching the finish, Ben Stone of Batavia. Ben with a first run time of 50:24, 50.24.
Cameraman came inside. It's a little too cold out, he said for him. We'll get some more shots down low, maybe for the second runs here.
At the top of the race course, Andrew Slade of Livonia Geneseo. Zagan with a first run time of 51.83, 51.83. Ben Teed of Dansville, Whalen, Cohocton is at the top of the race course. Andrew Slade is approaching the finish. Andrew with a first run time of 36 flat, 36.00. Joe Bausch of Arkport, Canasarega is at the top of the race course. Ben Teed of Whalen, Cohocton, Dansville is approaching the finish. Ben with a first run time of 45:30, 45.30.
Joe Bausch from Arkport, Canasarega had a chance to talk to his father last night. 11th grader. Oh. Just got to go the other way. Here you go.
Top of the race course is Ben Burns of Alfred Almond. Joe Bausch of Arkport, Canasarega with a first run time of 43.84, 43.84. Ben Burns with a first run time of 36:42, 36.42. Jordan Luther of Keshekwa is at the top of the race course.
Could be looking at a couple next Olympic skiers here downhill. I know Hornell has produced a couple Olympians for ski aerials. Tracy Evans graduated high school with me. He was into 4 Olympics. She lived over here.
Jordan with a first run time of 40:62, 40.62. Elijah Abdullah of Batavia is at the top of the course. Elijah with a first run time of 54:29, 54.29. Riley Tierney of Hornell is at the top of the course.
Riley Tierney.
Riley Tierney of Hornell is approaching the finish. Aiden O'Keefe of Livonia Geneseo has just entered the race course. Riley with a first run time of 57.76, 57.76. Approaching the finish, Aiden O'Keefe. Nate Morey of Arkport Candicereg is at the top of the race course. Aiden with a first run time of 37.91, 37.91.
Whoa. Oh. Ski stay on, can continue.
Nate with a first run time of 44.51, 44.51. Brennan Lang of Alfred Almond is halfway down the course.
Uh-oh. Nice
Jude Luther of Keshekwa is at the top of the race course.
Nice recovery. You can see a little upset, which...
Brennan with a first run time of 40.06, 40.06.
Again, don't forget to give us a like on our YouTube channel. Subscribe if you also want to know when we're bringing other stuff to you. We're going to be bringing basketball, wrestling, everything coming up here starting February 8th, I believe. The schedule will be out tomorrow, and we'll be posting that on our place.
Jude with a first run time of 45.78, 45.78. Peyton Wohler of Batavia is at the top of the course.
We'll be posting that on our Place Sports page on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, so you can find the schedules there, and a link to the schedules too. So if you want to find out your favorite school, we'll give you a link as well. You can click on that particular school, and it'll send you to give you their winter schedule, because I know it's going to be, with this COVID issues and stuff, we're kind of doing things as they come. I never expected to be over here doing alpine skiing. I'm glad I did. It's a lot of fun, actually. You know, it's fun. The funny thing about it too is, you know, these later races we're doing now, I know some of these kids and seeing how they improved. You know, time-wise and speed-wise, and you can just see how obviously practice makes perfect. You know how you get to Carnegie Hall.
At the top of the race course, Max McInerney of Livonia Geneseo. Peyton with a first run time of 74.21, 74.21.
Good job, Peyton. Sectionals or counties, I'm sorry, start this weekend for swimming. You can go to individual schools. I know Bath, Haverling is hosting. There's, I think, 4 schools hosting Livingston County for swimming, or 5. I will try to post that on Play Sports on Facebook too, so you can follow along there. We will not be covering any of it because the host schools will be doing it, but we can give you the links anyways.
Max with a first run time of 42.69, 42.69. At the top of the race course, Logan Howe of Arkport, Canaseraga. Logan with a first run time of 40.83, 40.83.
Oh, wipe out. One ski came off, so DQ'd.
Ethan Michelle of Alfred Almond is off course.
Menudo, it's a smoking jacket. Why would they do that?
At the top of the course, Dan Burley of Keshequa. Dan with a first run time of 47.98, 47.98. Top of the course is George Christian of Livonia Geneseo. Top of the race course is Griffin Milliman of Arkport, Canaseraga. George with a first run time of 43.27, 43.27. Talon Holly of Alfred Almonds at the top of the course. Griffin Milliman with a first run time of 46.12, 46.12. Talon with a first run time of 49.92, 49.92. Greg Loper of Keshikwa is at the top of the course. Greg with a first run time of 47.42, 47.42. Owen Cirillo of Livonia Geneseo is at the top of the course.
Coming down. Got to be nearing the end here of the boys, I would think.
Owen with a first run time of 46.87, 46.87. Top of the race course is Jaden Lang, Arkport, Canaseraga.
Oh, Jaden Lang. Oh, Jaden.
Niall Regas of Alfred Almond is on course. Jaden with a first run time of 63.63, 63.63.
Sorry, they sent someone out and I didn't realize it. I looked up there.
Top of the race course, Owen Cavo of Livonia Geneseo. Niall with a first run time of 45.02, 45.02.
Sorry about that.
Owen with a first run time of 45.23. Micah Hoyt is on course of Arkport, Canaseraga. Aaron Curtin of Alfred Almond is on course. On course, Harrison Oliver, Livonia Geneseo. Aaron with a first run time of 52.25, 52.25. Harrison with a first run time of 52.47, 52.47. That's our last varsity boys racer. We're going to take a short break.
Okay, so now we're going to take a short break.
Don't be fooled. Video hearings are as critical as appearing in person.
Make sure your rights are protected.
Your employer has trained specialists on their side.
And the judges work for New York State.
The only person on your side
is the attorney at your side.
Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys.
Laura and I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of our veterans, especially those who have served or are currently serving overseas.
Here at the Dagan Funeral Home, we take pride in serving the funeral needs of our veterans. We can arrange military services and, if desired, burial in a VA cemetery. We will provide an American flag, a veterans cemetery marker, and can also apply for military death benefits.
The Dagan Funeral Home, 5 generations of the Dagan family serving our veterans.
We might root for different teams, but we all respect the game. And we can all root for each other when we wear a mask. Mask up, America.
The Ryan Agency, for all your insurance needs.
You've got a great driving record. Every insurance company wants you. Recognize how valuable you are. Go to the Ryan Agency for the right insurance, price, coverage, and service.
Insurance protection you can rely on. The Ryan Agency.
Stop in at Maple City Dodge and see all the legendary brands we have to offer.
I never thought I'd be able to afford my dream vehicle, and with help from Doug from Maple City Dodge, he helped turn that dream into a reality.
I bought my Jeep at Maple City Dodge for the price and exceptional service. It was my first time, I'll be back again.
It's Maple City Dodge's 50th year of business. The reason for that is our great sales and service, so come on in and see us.
thank our advertisers, Hess's Tree and Stump Removal, Bucket Truck Services, Chipping, Stump Grinding, Dependable Expert Service. Call Lenny Rose, 324-1326, 382-1535. Hess's Tree and Stump Removal. And Maple City Dodge, Airport Road, North Rennell. Great sales, great service, and all Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep. Stop up and check out the beautiful new cars on the lot and the used cars as well. Maple City Dodge. And you can also get a quick oil change. All kinds of work. Rustic Lux, 176 Seneca Street in Hornell. Stop in for reloved, repaired furniture. Don't throw that piece of furniture away. Bring it into Rustic Lux. Seneca Street, next to the Hornell High School in Hornell. Excuse me. Pasquale Pico, MD, 585-596-4129, 15 Loader Street in Wellsville, New York. Providing quality care to the residents of Steuben and Allegheny counties for over 25 years, part of the U of R Jones Medicine Group. Pat Pico. Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorney's offices in Buffalo, Rochester, New York City. Call 585-262-COMP. Celebrating 2 years in the Gotham City, Connors and Ferris. MysticMedia.com, your small business digital success partner, web development, search optimization, blog content, social media, and much, much more. Log on to MysticMedia.com. Thanks, Jim Moore, for all your support at MysticMedia.com. John and Dagan, General and Trial Practice, proudly serving the Southern Tier since 1989. Call 324-6690 for John and Dagan, corner of Church and Genesee Street in Hornell. Stop in and visit John. Mike Palmer, Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, Coal Service, State Route 36 in Canaan Steel. Stop in or give him a call at 698-4440. For need a plumber, call Palmer, Mike Palmer. Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, and Coal Services.
And we are ready for the second run.
And the Ryan Agencies, Hornell, Jasper, and Ballsville. Stop in at their Hornell location at 57 Broadway in Hornell. Thanks. The Ryan Agencies, Jellios Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, State Route 36 in Canaan Steel. I'm sorry, and Seneca Road, for Jellios Plumbing, 382-0836. Jellios Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. And Dagan Funeral Home, traditional funeral services, cremation services, veteran services, pre-need planning, and inflation-proof financing at the Dagan Funeral Home. And by Howard Hanna Real Estate Services, Reggie Gambino. Call 382-3052. A great combination of Howard Hanna and Reggie Gambino. Howard Hanna, Reggie Gambino. And Gray Manufacturing Industries, providing
On course, Abby Bastine of Batavia.
entering manufacturing since 2006. And here we go. For the second down
Abby Bastine of Batavia is approaching the finish. Caden Cavo of Livonia Geneseo is at the top of the course.
There we go.
Abby with a second run time of 58.89, 58.89. Top of the race course, Thomas Adams of Dansville. Approaching the finish, Caden Cavo of Livonia Geneseo.
Modified.
Caden with a second run time of 48.73, 48.73. Top of the race course, Nolan Morey of Arkport, Canasarega. Thomas Adams with a second run time of 53.41, 53.41. On course is Grace Harris of Alfred Allman. Nolan Maury, Arkport, Canasarega with a second run time of 40.98, 40.98. Top of the race course is Burl Donnan of York. Grace Harris, Alfred Allman is approaching the finish. Grace with a second run time of 49.26, 49.26. Thomas Christian of Livonia Geneseo is at the top of the race course. Burl Donnan of York is approaching the finish. Burrow with a second run time of 44.46, 44.46.
Again, if you're just joining, this is modified with their second run. Takes about an hour to go for each run, including modified girls and then boys.
At the top of the course, Wyatt Everman of Dansville. Thomas with a second run time of 50.12, 50.12. Top of the race course is Quinn Owens of Arkport, Canasarega. Wyatt Everman of Dansville is approaching the finish. Wyatt with a second run time of 53.01, 53.01. Jules Cotton of Keshequa is at the top of the race course.
Sorry, I'm one man trying to do 10 things here. And the second I look away, I lose the skier occasionally.
Quinn Owens, Arkport, Canasarega, approaching the finish. Quinn with a second run time of 55.27, 55.27.
And thanks to all those watching around Section 5. And then
Leo Bailey, Livonia Geneseo is at the top of the race course. Jules Cotton of Keshequa is approaching the finish.
Southern Tier Race League here. You can see the slight snow that we're getting. This is the second run for everybody. This is
Jules with a second run time of 60.56, 60.56.
second modified race, second modified run here.
Xavier York of Dansville is at the top of the race course. Leo Bailey, Livonia Geneseo just skied through the finish.
It's really starting to come down now.
Leo with a second run time of 44.45, 44.45.
That'll make up for the poor quality of the filming. The snowflakes will distort things a little bit of the stream. I mean, sometimes when you're trying to film way up the hill, it gets a little distorted, but.
Xavier York of Dansville heading for the finish. Grayson Milliman of Arkport, Canasarega, top of the course. Xavier with a second run time of 51.08, 51.08.
Swain loves this when it gets snow. Any skiers love snow, you know. They don't have to make their own. I'm sure the cost of making snow is a little bit expensive.
Top of the course, Sophia Denny of Livonia Geneseo. Grayson Milliman, Arkport, Canasarega approaching the finish.
That, and they want freezing weather, so they don't have to, you don't want rain or warm. It's been kind of a warm winter here up till just recently. So
Grayson with a second run time of 59:10, 59.10. Top of the race course, Nava Gibson of Wayland Cohocton, Dansville. Sophia Denny of Livonia Geneseo is just through the finish. Sophia, second run time of 54.73, 54.73.
again, this is modified. Just getting ready to finish up.
Top of the race course, Sophie Bykirk of Livonia Geneseo. Just through the finish, Nevaeh Gibson of Wayland Cohocton, Dansville. Second run time of 50.23, 50.23.
Oh, let's see if they lost a ski or not here. Nope. I learned that you lose a ski, you're disqualified for this run. But looks like she's all right, getting back up. I think that's a. Oh, she's off. Okay. She's gonna ski down.
Sophie Bykirk is off course. Top of the race course, Aiden York of Dansville.
Comes Aiden. Snow's starting to really come down, as you can tell.
Aiden York of Dansville is our last modified racer with a second run time of 51.21, 51.21. Girls varsity will start shortly.
Good job. Continue our ad, Forever 6 Apparel, 385-3148. They have everything from hoodies to banners to coffee mugs, anything that can be printed on. You go to Forever 6 Apparel. Elderwood at Hornell, 1 Bethesda Drive, long-term care facilities, short-term rehab. Stop into Elderwood. Take a tour of their beautiful facility, Elderwood. So we're waiting for the girls to start. Don't forget, find more information about us on Pike Sports on Facebook. As well as Instagram, Pike Sports. Twitter. It's TWITTR, Twitter. And YouTube. That's what you're watching now, YouTube. So Joining us on each one of those.
Lily Whiting of Batavia, our first girls varsity racer, is at the top of the course.
Okay, here we go.
Carly Curtis of Hornell is in the start house.
In the start house. Snow's letting up a little bit.
Lily Whiting of Batavia with a second run time of 45.51, 45.51. Carly Curtis of Hornell is on course.
Whoops, I lost Carly. Where'd she go? There she goes. Jeez. Sorry, Carly.
That's all I got. Over.
Carly with a second run time of 45.81, 45.81. Katie Mance of Keshequa is at the top of the race course. Callie Little of Dansville is in the start house.
Sorry if I miss your granddaughter or grandson or anything there. So I'm trying the best I can. Sometimes I look away for a second to adjust my computers or do some adjustments on other things and I miss it. Darn it.
Katie Mance of Keshequa approaching the finish. Callie Little of Dansville is on course. Katie with a second run time of 44.96, 44.96.
There's our secondary cameraman's down there, JJ. Took a little break to get warm. It is cold out here today.
Bella Lang of Alfred Almond is at the top of the race course. Callie Little with a second run time of 46.11, 46.11. Malia Raz of Keshequa is at the top of the race course. Bella Lang, Alfred Almond is approaching the finish. Bella with a second run time of 41.47, 41.47. Kirsten Van Dorn of Keshequa is at the top of the race course. Malia with a second run time of 40.58, 40.58. Kirsten with a second run time of 38.72, 38.72. Heather Moriarty of Keshequa is at the top of the race course. On deck in the race house is Claire Schiano, also of Keshequa. Claire Schiano of Keshikwa is at the top of the race course. Heather Moriarty approaching the finish. Heather with a second run time of 38:57, 38.57. Maureen Stuckey, Arkport Canasarega, is at the top of the race course. Claire with a second run time of 38:46, 38.46. On course, Maureen Stuckey, Arkport Canasarega. Lindsey Johnson, Livonia Geneseo at the top of the course. Maureen with a second run time of 36:20, 36.20. Lindsey Johnson, Livonia Geneseo approaching the finish. Laura Murray, Arkport Canasarega at the top of the course. Lindsay with a second run time of 46.73, 46.73. Sophie Wilkins of Hornell is at the top of the race course. Laura Murray, Arkport Canasarega approaching the finish. Laura with a second run time of 45.53, 45.53. Emma Propanik of Livonia Geneseo is at the top of the race course. Sophie Wilkins, Hornell approaching the finish. Sophie with a second run time of 48.29, 48.29. Abby Grove of Alfred Almond is at the top of the course. This is Emma Probanik of Livonia Geneseo approaching the finish. Emma with a second run time of 47.98, 47.98. Abby Grove of Alfred Almond with a second run time of 48.78, 48.78. Anna Wood of Keshikwa is at the top of the race course. Anna Wood of Keshikwa approaching the finish. Sydney Hurlbert, Arkport Canasarega is at the top of the course. Anna with a second run time of 49 flat, 49.00. Luna Quintana of Alfred Almond is at the top of the course. Sydney Hurlburt, Arkport Canasarega approaching the finish. Sydney with a second run time of 50.73, 50.73. Jaden Brock of Hornell is at the top of the race course. Luna Quintana, Alfred Almond is approaching the finish. Luna with a second run time of 49.57, 49.57. Abby Lewandowski of Keshikwa is just out of the start house. Jaden Brock of Hornell approaching the finish. Jaden with a second run time, 49.23, 49.23. Valerie Miller, Arkport Canasarega is at the top of the race course. Abby Lewandowski of Keshikwa approaching the finish. Abby with a second run time of 52.40, 52.40. Lily Wagner of Batavia is at the top of the race course. Valerie Miller, Arkport Canasarega just crossed the finish. Valerie with a second run time of 56.60, 56.60. Lena Michelle, Alfred Almond, top of the race course. Lily Wagner, Batavia approaching the finish. Lily with a second run time of 51.58, 51.58. Catherine Rosser, Livonia Geneseos at the top of the race course. Lena Michelle, Alfred Almond approaching the finish. Lena with a second run time of 53.76, 53.76. Sophia Menudo, Batavia is at the top of the race course. Catherine with a second run time of 53.99, 53.99. Grace Denny, Livonia Geneseo is at the top of the race course. Sophia Menudo, Batavia, just through the finish line. Sophia with a second run time of 56.92, 56.92. Audrey Vosberg, Wayland Cohocton, Dansville is at the top of the race course. Grace Denny, Livonia Geneseo approaching the finish. Grace with a second run time of 62.75, 62.75. At the top of the race course, Ella Napolitano of Alfred Almond. Audrey Vosberg, Dansville, Wayland, Cohocton, approaching the finish. Audrey with a second run time of 63.63, 63.63. Quinn Waller, Batavia is at the top of the race course. Ella Napolitano, Alfred Almond approaching the finish. Ella with a second run time of 73.11, 73.11.
I knew it.
Rihanna Tierney of Hornell is at the top of the race course. Quinn Wohler, Batavia, approaching the finish. Quinn with a second run time of 71.59, 71.59. Nicole Cartwright at Keshequa is on course. Rihanna with a second run time of 61.39, 61.39. On course, Emma Jo Pierce of Keshequa. Nicole with a second run time of 46.17, 46.17.
lost you. My other cameras went bad there, so I was trying to figure that out.
Emma with a second run time of 52:54, 52.54. That was our last girls varsity racer. We'll be starting boys varsity momentarily.
And our first boys varsity, Andrew Davis from Hornell, is on course.
Andrew Davis.
Matt Randall.
Andrew in with a second run time of 39.95, 39.95.
This guy's flying, but he's got to stay in control. Awesome.
Adam Hunt approaching the finish. Adam with a second run time, 37.63, 37.63. Chaz Dorflinger, Livonia Geneseo is on course. Aiden O'Keefe, also Livonia Geneseo, top of the race course. Chaz with a second run time of 37.45, 37.45. Ben Burns, Alfred Almonds at the top of the race course. Aiden O'Keefe, Livonia Geneseo, approaching the finish. Ben Burns is off course. Aiden with a second run time of 38.32, 38.32. Jackson McInerney, Livonia Geneseo is on course. Ryan Thayer of Keshikwa is at the top of the race course. Jackson with a second run time of 37.01, 37.01. Andrew Slade, Livonia Geneseo, is at the top of the race course. Ryan Thayer, Keshikwa, approaching the finish. Ryan with a second run time of 37.18, 37.18. Wyatt Owens, Arkport Canisteraga, is at the top of the race course. Andrew Slade, Livonia Geneseo, approaching the finish. Andrew with a second run time of 45.69, 45.69. Connor Stuckey, Arkport Canisteraga, is at the top of the race course. Wyatt Owens with a second run time of 36:55, 36.55. Brennan Lang of Alfred Almonds at the top of the race course. Connor with a second run time of 33.84, 33.84. Jordan Luther of Keshkwa is at the top of the race course. Brennan Lang, Alfred Almond approaching the finish. Brennan with a second run time of 40.54, 40.54. Logan Howe, Arkport Canasarega at the top of the race course. Jordan Luther approaching the finish. Jordan with a second run time of 40.67, 40.67. Cameron Clare, Alfred Almond at the top of the race course. Logan Howe, Arkport, Canasarega just across the finish line. Logan with a second run time 39.24, 39.24. Dylan Quackenbush, Waylon Cohawkins at the top of the race course. Cameron Clare, Alfred Almond just across the finish line. Cameron with a second run time of 37.19, 37.19. Zach Wagner, Batavia is at the top of the race course. Dylan Quackenbush, Waylon Cohawken just across the finish with a second run time of 42.32, 42.32. Max McInerney, Livonia is at the top of the race course. Zach Wagner, Batavia approaching the finish. Zach with a second run time of 46.98, 46.98. George Christian, Livonia Geneseo is at the top of the race course, working his way down. Max McInerney, Livonia Geneseo. Max with a second run time of 41.91, 41.91. Joe Bausch, Arkport Canasarega is at the top of the race course. George Christian, Livonia Geneseo, approaching the finish. George with a second run time of 44.47, 44.47. Jack Burns, Alfred Almond just out of the start house. Joe Bausch with a second run time of 36.20, 36.20. Nate Morey of Arkport Canasarega, just out of the start house. Approaching the finish, Jack Burns, Alfred Allman. Jack Burns with a second run time of 43:30, 43.30.
Darn it, I missed him. I didn't see him coming down the hill. I apologize. I thought he was at the gate. My fault.
Niall Rigas, Alfred Allman, just out of the start house. Nate Morey, Arkport Canasarega, approaching the finish.
Sorry about that, guys. I had battery change here.
Nate Morey off course. Owen Cavo, Livonia Geneseo, just out of the start house. Niall with a second run time of 44 flat, 44.00.
You're good.
I look away for a second. I apologize.
Ben Teed, Wayland, Cohocton, Dansville, just out of the start house. Owen Cavo, Livonia Geneseo, approaching the finish. Owen with a second run time, 47.20, 47.20. Jude Luther at Kashiquaz at the top of the race course. Ben Teed, Wayland, Cohocton, Dansville, just across the finish. Ben with a second run time, 46.49, 46.49. Griffin Millman, Arkport Canasarega, just out of the start house. Jude Luther, Kashiquaz, coming across the finish line. Jude with a second run time, 46.04, 46.04.
See him shrug his shoulders a little bit as time. And they announced his time.
Owen Cirillo, Livonia Geneseo, just out of the start house. Griffin Millman, Arkport Canasarega, approaching the finish. Griffin with a second run time, 47.29, 47.29. Owen Cirillo, Livonia Geneseo is on course. Greg Loper of Kashiquaz, just out of the start house. Owen with a second run time of 46.22, 46.22. Evan Hall of Hornell, just out of the start house. Approaching the finish, Greg Loper of Kashiquaz. Greg with a second run time of 47.91, 47.91. Dan Burley of Keshequa just out of the start house. Evan Hall of Hornell approaching the finish. Evan with a second run time of 47.39, 47.39. Ethan Bradley of Batavia, fresh out of the start house. Dan Burley, Keshequa, approaching the finish. Dan with a second run time of 48.06, 48.06. Talon Holly, Alfred Allman, just out of the start house. Ethan Bradley of Batavia is working his way down the course. Ethan with a second run time of 62.83, 62.83.
Oh, lost his ski. So DQ'd. There's one of the safety people come down.
Talon Holly's off course.
Snow.
Ben Stone of Batavia, just out of the start house.
Don't forget to give us a like on YouTube and subscribe as well.
Zagan Nowak of Hornell, just out of the start house. Ben Stone of Batavia approaching the finish. Ben with a second run time of 54.55, 54.55. Aaron Curtin of Alfred Allman is on course. Zagan with a second run time of 56.66, 56.66. Harrison Oliver, Livonia Geneseo is on course. Aaron with a second run time of 54.52, 54.52. Riley Tierney of Hornell is on course. Harrison with a second run time of 50:47, 50.47. Elijah Abdel of Batavia is at the top of the course. Riley Tierney, Hornell, approaching the finish. Riley with a second run time of 56 flat, 56.00. Elijah with a second run time of 58:30, 58.30. Jaden Lang, Arkport Canasarega is on course. Jaden with a second run time of 49.25, 49.25. Peyton Wooler of Batavia is on course. Eli Vosberg, Wayland Cohocton Dansville is at the top of the course. Peyton Wooler, Batavia approaching the finish. Peyton with a second run time of 74.12, 74.12. Ethan Michelle, Alfred Almonds at the top of the race course. Eli Vosberg, Wayland Cohocton Dansville approaching the finish. Eli with a second run time, 58.39, 58.39. Micah Hoyt, Arkport Canasarega is at the top of the race course. Ethan Michelle, second run time of 41.16, 41.16. Micah with a second run time of 44.96, 44.96. That concludes our race. Thanks, everybody.
So that was today's race. Excellent job by all the racers as usual. I want to thank our advertisers as always. Hess's Treat and Stump Removal. Thanks, Lenny Rose, for all your support. And by Maple City Dodge, Airport Road, Gary Harwood and his staff at Maple City Dodge. Rustic Lux, 176 Seneca Street in Hornell. Reloved and repaired furniture, bring it into Rustic Lux. And Dr. Pat Pico, 15 Loader Street in Wellsville, 585-596-4129. Taking new patients now. Connors and Fierce, your workers' comp attorney's offices in Buffalo, Rochester, and New York City. Thanks, Greg Connors, for all your support. MysticMedia.com, web development, search optimization, blog content, social media, and much, much more. Mystic Media. John and Dagan General Trial Practice. Call 324-6690 for John and Dagan. Mike Palmer, Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, State Route 36 in Canton Steel. Call 698-4444. Need a plumber? Call Palmer. Mike Palmer. And the Ryan agencies, Hornell, Jasper, and Wellsville, stopping at their 57 Broadway office. Gilio's Plumbing, Heating and Cooling, 382-0836. Chad Gilio, 24-hour-a-day emergency service. Chad Gilio, Gilio's Plumbing, Dagan Funeral Home, 38 Church Street in Hornell, 324-3500. Hope you never have to call these people, but it's inevitable for everyone, I guess. Traditional funeral services, cremation services, veteran services. The Dagan Funeral Home, Howard Hanna and Regina Gambino, great combination. Howard Hanna Real Estate Services and Reggie Gambino, Gray Manufacturing Industries, Trade Industry, Engineering, Consulting, and Manufacturing since 2006. Gray Manufacturing, and of course Forever 6 Apparel, 385-3148. Log on to forever6apparel.com. And Elderwood at Hornell, 1 Bethesda Drive. Stop in at Elderwood. So thank you everybody for joining us. Until next week, when we'll be bringing you more racing from Swain. Until then, thanks for joining us.
Your employer has trained specialists on their side.
And the judges work for New York State.
The only person on your side
is the attorney at your side.
Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys.
Laura and I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of our veterans, especially those who have served or are currently serving overseas.
Here at the Dagan Funeral Home, we take pride in serving the funeral needs of our veterans. We can arrange military services and, if desired, burial in a VA cemetery. We will provide an American flag, a veterans cemetery marker, and can also apply for military death benefits.
The Dagan Funeral Home, 5 generations of the Dagan family serving our veterans.
We might root for different teams, but we all respect the game. And we can all root for each other when we wear a mask. Mask up, America.
The Ryan Agency, for all your insurance needs.
You've got a great driving record. Every insurance company wants you. Recognize how valuable you are. Go to the Ryan Agency for the right insurance, price, coverage, and service.
Insurance protection you can rely on. The Ryan Agency.
Stop in at Maple City Dodge and see all the legendary brands we have to offer.
I never thought I'd be able to afford my dream vehicle, and with help from Doug from Maple City Dodge, he helped turn that dream into a reality.
I bought my Jeep at Maple City Dodge for the price and exceptional service. It was my first time, and I'll be back again.
It's Maple City Dodge's 50th year of business. The reason for that is our great sales and service. So come on in and see us.